After coming off such a strong expansion like Shadowbringers, I couldn't even fathom the idea that they could top it, that they could do better than what was arguably the best MMORPG experience that we've had in a while. But here we are at the end of Endwalker's 6.0, and they managed to blow my mind again. To the point that I'm actually repeating the question, how can they top this? This video is going to be full of spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, add this video to your watch later list and come back to it. I made somewhat of a prediction video of what would happen in this expansion up to 6.0, and I'm happy to say that I'm way off. Out of all the expansions, Endwalker takes a more serious tone, honing in on the morally gray and building up on a keyword that has been spoken and wished upon throughout the life of Final Fantasy XIV, hope. Within the first 4 levels, we are taken on a journey of emotions, from laughing to being on the verge of tears, or for some, pouring buckets with no warning. When we were told that we would be taking the fight to Garlemald, we were not ready. Through consistently amazing writing and storytelling, we are able to sympathize with the one constant enemy that we have had through the entire story. We are able to feel their pain and even feel bad for tearing through them like a tornado. It really makes you think about how you look to the other side, about the consequences of war and those who are really affected by it and how they see you. I started with Garlemald because that's where the story really gets started. Before then, it was just set up that continued from the end of Shadowbringers. Sharlayan and Thavna are cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not anything compared to what comes during and after Garlemald. The body swap itself really had me on the edge of my seat. The moon. They really got us with the moon. We thought it would be the final zone where the final battle between Zodiac and Hydaelyn takes place. We thought the logo, the flying ship going towards the planet, was a ship going towards the moon. We thought Xenos would be absorbing the power of Zodiac while we were wielding the power of Hydaelyn, a battle that would shake the cosmos. It didn't even occur to us that Zodiac was incomplete, and that to fight a Zodiac powerful enough to be a real threat, they would have had to succeed in more calamities. This expansion should be called Jabate Walker, as well as like Feels Walker, Feelings Walker, Tear Walker, because they got us a lot. Anima wasn't a trial. Zodiac wasn't the first trial. Zodiac was the first trial. Hydaelyn wasn't evil. The homies lived. Then we go back in time before the first final days, and it just so happens it's at the point where everything goes down. In any other game or story, it has been said that going back in time to tie up plot threads will be a cop-out. But personally, it's one of my favorite moments of Endwalker right now. When we meet Argos on the moon, he acts like he knows us. Then we see Argos again in Elpis, and that really ties it all together. It's a time-traveling style where once the loop has happened the first time, it has always existed. You can go deeper and think, how do we know we haven't already traveled through time and we are living in the present that we created? But the devs kept it simple, while giving us more insight into how the ancients interacted with each other and their rules and policies, like Emmett talking about how unsightly it was to walk around without wearing a mask and robes. It also falls in line with who our character is, Azim the Traveler. It was cool being able to do a dungeon with Emmett, Hythlodaeus, and Vana, and I hope we get to do more with them in the future. There's a joke somewhere in there about Hythlodaeus trying to make bards cool again. I don't know where to really place that at. The final zone is amazing, learning about all the different cultures and civilizations that existed in the stars, each one of them having their own style of aetheryte, finding out what happened to the dragon's original home, the music, the stakes, Dragon Xenos, the final fight with the planets getting thrown at us. It's all big and exciting and is that great step into the finale. I like that they gave us kind of a heads up on what to expect in the future with the different areas we will be exploring. And if you look on the new, bigger map that they made for 6.0, all of those locations are actually shown on the map. They are really taking a brave step ending the conflict so early and not in a way that sets us up for the next big threat. Instead, now that the big battle is done and we are pretty much on vacation, taking it back to the beginning, we're back to regular old adventurers with no looming major threat. All of our characters have had huge growth through the series from A Realm Reborn until now. The Scions have had understood their weaknesses and taken the steps to become strong enough to fight alongside you. But their growth isn't the one that I ended up enjoying the most. It was ours. And it could be that I am remembering it wrong, but we have been the most active in cutscenes in Endwalker. throwing the blade and yelling at Xenos to get out of our bodies, diving in the water after the mother and her child. The bonds that are formed are really shown in the dialogue options and in the looks we give, and in some cases, not all, but some, mimic how the player is feeling in that moment. Of course, the music is amazing. I haven't come across a track yet that I dislike, although after a long day, it was tough getting through questing because some of those music zones were pretty chill, like Old Charlian and Thavnir. The leitmotif of footfalls playing in various forms throughout the dungeons, zones, and key moments was amazing. I'd love to be able to pick Silken's brain, study how he writes and comes up with these pieces, but I'd probably be speechless if given the opportunity. The game didn't leave me without questions though. Even though we were given tons of lore to fill in a lot of the blanks, more questions are opened up as we set out on this new adventure. And I'll have a separate video to discuss the questions that come to mind, where we can try to come up with these answers. But the biggest one now is, can they maintain this level that was achieved after so many years? Like Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker 6.0 ends the story of Hydaelyn, Zodiac, and the Ascians. A story that's lasted more than 11 years. 11 years! That's crazy! As the Warrior of Light, we have created fond memories with friendly NPCs, hostile NPCs, and other players. The crazy thing is that it sounds like the game is just getting started, and we all get to start again on a new journey, not knowing what is to really happen in the future. There's so much more I can talk about and say about Endwalker, but right now let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'd love to talk more with you about it. Don't forget to give this video a like, and if you want to, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.